Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Daniel Berlant with the Fire Situation Report for October 10th. 2016. This weekend and last week, temperatures were on the decrease. In fact, we're finally starting to see some fall weather and fall temperatures in many parts of California. That's obviously aiding firefighters in their efforts towards containing several fires still burning across California. This is some video shot of the Loma Fire several weeks ago when the Loma Fire just south of San Jose ignited. So crews, though, definitely having the upper hand on this fire. Now, even with those cooler temperatures, crews have still been very busy last week with fires all across the state. In fact, there were over 250 new wildfires that broke out in California last week alone. That's a 27% increase in the number of wildfires so far this year compared to a normal year. Now, let's switch over to our statewide fire map, and you can see there are two active fires that crews are still working towards containment. The first one up here on the north side, this is the Loma Fire burning in Santa Clara County. The Loma Fire has already charred just under 4,500 acres. This is south of San Jose. In fact, here you can see San Jose. Here is Santa Cruz and Santa Cruz mountain areas. And this is where the fire perimeter has burned. Now, right now, the fire is 95% contained. We'll show you some images of the Loma Fire. You can see this is some of the area burned by the fire, but you can see from this video from this weekend, there's not active fire. There's not a lot of active smoke, but crews are still out there working to mop up, making sure any hot spots that still may exist are completely extinguished. Now, the fire is 95% contained. Full containment on the Loma Fire is expected later this week. The other major fire burning just south of the Loma Fire along the central coast is the Sopranos Fire. Here you can see this fire has been burning since mid-July, and we'll zoom in just a little bit further here. This is all just south of Salinas and south of Monterey. So far, this fire has become a very large fire. In fact, it's the 18th largest fire in our state's history. Started, as I mentioned, mid-July and was able to burn over 132,000 acres. You can see from these photos some of the areas burned by the fire. Now, according to the U.S. Forest Service, the Sopranos Fire now 99% contained. Full containment on this fire is expected on October 15th. So crews are very close to full containment on this largest fire of the year and the 18th largest fire in our state's history, the Sopranos Fire, holding at 132,127 acres, 99% contained. Now, let's talk a little bit about our weather conditions this week. We are expecting to see somewhat of a continued cool down across many parts of California. Here you can see today's temperatures: 83 in Sacramento, 65 up in Eureka on the north coast, 76 in Los Angeles, 83 in San Diego. So we are seeing cooler temperatures, more mild temperatures, I should say, as we do transition into the fall months. And as we go further into the week, we're going to start seeing it cool down even more. That's going to aid firefighters in their efforts towards containment on several of the fires along the central coast, but it obviously will help to decrease the fire risk for the next couple days in these areas. In fact, look in Redding, 64 degrees by Friday, 55 degrees in Tahoe. Down in Southern California, we're still going to see some mild temperatures in the 70s, so we're still not completely out of the woods yet, but we are going to start to see some cooler temperatures. As far as our wind for this week, if you're living along the eastern part of the Sierra, those winds, despite the cooler temperatures, are still going to be higher in many areas. In fact, 20, 30 miles an hour all the way from Lassen County down along the eastern part of the Sierra, Inyo, Mono counties. And this is typical as the storm pattern starts to move in. It may bring some rainfall, but ahead of the storm, we're going to see those winds pick up. And those winds could, if a fire ignites, fan that fire very quickly. So firefighters still on the ready despite those cooler temperatures. Now, talk a little bit about the rainfall. This is a 7-day total of the rainfall expected this week. You can see these areas where it's yellow and orange. That's where we could see a couple inches of rain. Look at this. The north coast could see upwards of 5 inches of rain. We are going to see a little bit less as we head down. Central part of California could see an inch to less than an inch. Fresno, we're expecting for the next week or so, half an inch of rain. Tahoe, 2 to 3 inches. Redding could see 4 to 6 inches. Even along the coast, San Francisco, 1 to 2 inches of rain. So that rainfall will be good. Now, it will decrease the fire risk in these areas during the time that it's raining, but it will only take a couple days of warm temperatures. If next week temperatures start to go back up, or we see a increased period, an elevated period of high temperatures without rainfall, this is not a fire season end at this point. This will not end fire season, but it will definitely put a dent into this month's fire risk in those areas. But again, just for at least a couple days or so. So rainfall expected across much of northern and central California. This week is National Fire Prevention Week. And each year we recognize and look at as something that we should all be doing. And this year's theme is don't wait, check the date. And that's when it comes to smoke alarms. You want to make sure that you have a working smoke alarm in your home. But if you purchase a new smoke alarm in the last couple of years, the batteries are going to be different. You're going to note there's not an area where you can remove and change the batteries. That's because the new smoke alarms on the market here in California now are 10-year lifetime batteries, meaning the lifetime of this smoke alarm, which is 10 years, you do not need to change the batteries. You still want to check it, press that test button at least every month, if not every couple of months, just to make sure that the alarm is working. But still, you've got to make sure you're remembering the date. So we want you to check the date on your smoke alarms first. Take it off the wall or the ceiling. Easy enough. Turn around. On the back of it, you're going to see a date just like this. It's a manufacturer's date. This one right here says December 7th, 2012. That means in 2022, this smoke alarm will need to be replaced with a new smoke alarm that should expect to last another 10 years. Again, every 10 years you want to cycle through changing out and replacing those smoke alarms depending on the date of manufacturer. The other thing, put the alarm back on the ceiling once you're done. If it's less than 10 years old, make sure it's working and put it up so you have one. You want to make sure you have a smoke alarm in every room of your house where people are sleeping, in the hallways that lead to those bedrooms as well, and on every floor of your home. So you want to have multiple smoke alarms throughout your home. And yes, they can be annoying if they are constantly beeping. That means those batteries are not working. So if you have an older smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries in your smoke alarms. Now we have a lot of good information about not only the lifetime smoke alarm, but also the importance of how to maintain your smoke alarms on our website, which is fire.ca.gov. There's a lot of good information there. Again, it is National Fire Prevention Week. Don't wait. Check the date. Make sure you have a working smoke alarm in your home. Now, for more information on the fires that have been burning in California and this week's weather, make sure to check out our website, readyforwildfire.org. That's the latest on the fire situation in California. I'm Daniel Berlant. Have a fire-safe week.